Coach, short turnaround after a good night, but a long night. Are you addressing with the team about overcoming fatigue or getting that out of your mind? How do you do that? How'd they do today?
I mean, they did great once they got into motion. And they did great when we forced them to be great. But sometimes when you're young and you give in to fatigue and you give in to how your body's feeling and you start speaking the words of being tired, and it's an adverse effect on you. So you got to try to trick your mind into doing what you want it to do. And I mean, it's an exercise that every athlete has probably gone through. But on the serious, side of things, it's what people fight for daily needs, and that's much worse than having to recover from a basketball game.
A big fourth quarter push like that. What more did you learn about the drive of this team?
I mean, I actually learned a lot about our team, about individuals. Like, cause a couple of individuals were tested. Lay was tested, Malaysia was tested. Didn't meet the moment in the first quarter. Played a little bit trying to attack it. I like her competitive spirit, but she made a couple of bad decisions, and then she sat for a little bit. When she got back in, she was ready to rock and roll. Like, that's trust building. Ashlyn Watkins again picks up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Sat her. She didn't get in to our normal substitution rotation to the fourth quarter. I know she was mad, and you have to think they're competitors. They should be mad. They should be mad at me. They should be mad at their play, and then they should do something about it. And that's what both of those players did, was come back. Ash finished the game, gutsy performance defensively, got a couple buckets and rebounds, and just tough defense. And that's the cycle of a student athlete, of an athlete, of a pro athlete, to be able to overcome those moments.
Is it tough at all to get a young team like this to refocus after such a huge game like that into a quick turnaround in another team?
I mean, if you stay routine, and we're a routine group, I mean, it would have been easy for us to say, hey, take the day off. Let's regroup on tomorrow. But we wanted to get in here, and even for a short period of time, just to get them focused. It's great mental exercises to come back after a loss like that, less sleep, than they normally get, to stay in our routine. We don't really want to do anything different because it works for us, but you got to actually tell them this is what's happening. Your mind is telling you that you're tired because you are tired, but we got work to do. So.
Sorry, you talked to Holly about it before the game. You wore the appropriate sweatshirt for it, but I think my favorite part of the whole game, and no disrespect to your team's win, it's been people reacting to the win and scrolling Twitter and seeing the magnitude of people who reacted and were watching and tuning in. Can you just touch again on that relevance and what is happening in women's? It just feels like from 3 years ago, the momentum that's building.
I really think that there was a build up to it, and I do think the decision makers and spotlighting the game really did a great job at just publicizing. Does it cost money? Yes, it does. But anything costs money that you want to get something great out of it. LSU did their part. They filled the arena. They had a whiteout. They had a party outside the game. ESPN brought the whole rigmarole. They brought everybody to College game day, right? And then we did our part, in bringing a team in here that, people want to see, either win or lose. And then, LSU players, we gave a great game. Could have gone any way. And that's being intentional. When you're intentional, you'll get results. So I think 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we weren't as intentional as we are today. And you're seeing the benefit of it.
Speaking of the growth of women's basketball, Aaliyah's a big part of that. What has it meant to have her to help out at the game last night and here at practice today?
Aaliyah was in full sweat, like full. She probably needed a shower after the game because she was really, really into it. She still is very close friends with a couple of players on our team, and she knows what success feels like. She's met big moments, right? So some of our players have never been in those kind of moments where they're actually playing. They've been in them sitting on the bench cheering, but they haven't been in those moments to have to make the play. And it was so good to hear from somebody that's been in it time and time again, and they're able to impart their knowledge in game to some of those players, and they produce. I mean, it's, as a coach, it's super proud moments, like super proud moments that our former players can come back and pour into our current players.
What a heck of a week for the Gamecocks in basketball.
Great week. Continues tomorrow. Lamont's got Missouri. We got Vandy. Hopefully we can sweep the weekend again.
Going off of that, I mean, you don't see a lot of college athletics departments around the country that so openly support each other with the head coaches. What is it, you've been here for a while, what is it about all of the head coaches here right now that make it so special here?
I mean, it really is our culture here to have coaches support each other. We really know how important that is, to feel like we're supported, because a lot of times people feel like they're on the island. And it's not just football, men's basketball, women's basketball. I go to softball games. I know tennis plays Clemson on Saturday, like at 10 o'clock. If we didn't practice, I would be there. Josh has been great. Like everybody, golf, track and field, we're pretty good. And when you feel the love from within, it's easy for other people to love up on all different sports that we have here.
Speaking of just looking at the opponent in particular, Vanderbilt's putting together a pretty good season. Just what do you see out of the Commodores headed into this game?
Vandy's confident. They have they got a team that believes in their coach. They got a team that believes in each other. They already played hard. Like they played hard ever since Shea has gotten the job there. They didn't always have the talent, but you knew you were going to get a 40-minute effort. Now they have talent. Now they have effort. Now they have belief and confidence, and with that combination of things, it can turn your program around. That's what she's done.
A lot of love for, go ahead. A lot of love for Breezy online last night and just throughout this season. What do you see from her that we don't see in the games and these open practices?
I mean, you see a lot of things. You see her probably looking like I'm at a point where either I can make something happen for good or for bad. Breezy's a pleaser, so she always wants to please, and she sets her bar high. And when she does not reach that bar, she feels a certain type of way. But we're often reminded that they're young people that go through things. Like, and if you don't have people around you that really understand that, Breezy could tank. But thank God we had Aaliyah. I was actually looking at Breezy and trying to figure out how we can get her some shots. I really did. In timeouts, I was sitting there like, we need to get her some shots. And I wasn't really intentional about getting her those shots, knocking down threes. I wanted something, set her up to get something going to the basket. But, Camilla had was in the right mindset to where she was being double teamed, and she just looked over her shoulder and found Breezy, and Breezy, the shot that she's made for us, in practice and in a lot of games. So I'm seriously happy for Breezy, because there's nothing more than a confidence booster than to continue to hit game-winning shots.
Collecting stuff for next week's National Women and Girls in Sports Day. You're an inspiration. You're a role model. You are raising and fostering role models and inspiration. What sort of responsibility do you feel? We see it. You have everybody line up and take pictures and sign those autographs. Is it something you remember, or somebody that stood out to you, or can you just touch on the fostering of that? I owe basketball. Like, I'm forever indebted to it. Like, forever, for what it's done for me. And I feel like doing what I do, just making sure that people who pay their money to come, spend their time with us, I'm hoping that the game is entertaining, as well as if they want a picture, if they want an autograph, then it's my duty. It's a necessity for me to do that, because basketball didn't have to do what it did for me. So, and I want our sport to grow. I really do want our sport to grow. I want to be a beacon of hope for young people, not just girls, boys. A lot of them
haven't experienced. They don't know anything about college. So to be on a college campus and to see something that they really love seeing, to associate themselves, with female players who are out there playing to, they're talented, they are entertaining, and that's giving hope to those young people to aspire to become just that, and I hope they just repay it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Coach.